Hello friends, today we're going to make some table decor. Some double-sided table decor and a few little napkin rings. Super cute. Let's get started crafting. This first project starts out with an Easter basket I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby for 59 cents. We're just going to take that little label off and then we are going to paint this with Summer Crush, all the sides, not the inside, just the bottom, which is actually going to be the top, and the sides. And I just gave it one coat of paint. And I mixed Summer Crush and a little bit of cake batter and some SALTWASH. And we're going to give this some texture. We're going to make it look, well, it's not going to look like a pumpkin, but you know, the illusion. So I'm using an old chippy brush and I am just stippling on some quote unquote stripes. So, and I'm going to go back in between those a little bit, but not getting as much texture in there. So the most texture is going to be in the stripes. And then I just did a little circle on the top. That's going to be our top now instead of the bottom. Okay, so now on the bottom, I cut a piece of thin cardboard. Probably came out of a Dollar Tree calendar. I don't throw anything away. To fit the bottom of this, I'm going to use some Type Bond Quick and Thick glue on the bottom of this. And then I'm going to use a little hot glue on the corners for just a little quick set. The Type Bond really does dry quick, but this hot glue is going to keep it from moving around while it dries. So I just put that on and then I wiped off all the excess glue. Now we're going to take our dark wax by DIY and we are going to take that old chippy brush and just dry brush it on. I don't want a whole lot on there and I'm not going to wipe it back off. So I'm just going to go around the edges and just wherever I think it looks like it needs it. And on top I did it a little bit in the center where I'm going to put that peduncle. Now I'm going to use this. This came off of an old chair, some of those old chairs I had when I was getting those spindles, and I took it out with my orbital sander and I sanded it down really good. I thought I was going to use it like that, but I changed my mind. Then I got out my weathered wood by DIY and I dry brushed some on, took a wet wipe and wiped it off to get this look. Then I decided it needed some twine because of course everything needs twine in the fall, right? Just humor me here. It turns out really cute. So I just put a little hot glue every now and again and then just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped it around until I got up to the top until it looked like I wanted it to look. You can do as little or as much twine as you want when you are doing your projects, and sometimes you might not even want to do any. So I'm going to take the Type Bond and the hot glue and I'm going to put that right in the center. I'm trying to find what I'm using as my front. Well, this is going to be an all-sided project because this is going on a table for a centerpiece, and I have a round table. Okay, so now I'm just going to take some Raffia and I'm going to put some glue right there so this thing doesn't move. I want it to stay down there. And so I'm just going to glue that there, and then I'm going to make a bow. So I just folded it over, kind of like the awareness ribbon bow. And then I'm just going to take a piece of that raffia that was extra, wrap it around a few times, and then tie it in a knot in the center. And easy peasy. I'm going to glue that right there. Looking so good. Is it not looking so good? Then I got out the jute leaves, burlap leaves. I don't remember what they were called on that. I did that so fast. You like how speedy I'm crafting today? And then I'm just going to wrap that. It had a little wire on it, so I'm just going to wrap that wire around the bottom of that peduncle and use that so I don't have to use as much hot glue. I'm just kind of poking it down in there so you don't see it. And then there you go. Now we're going to work on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to use this brown raffia I got at Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to tie a knot in the center of it and loosen it up a little bit because we want this to look you know, a little bit different on the back side. You could put the same bow on the other side if you wanted. I'm just going to glue that down. This thing is easy peasy and it looks really pretty on my table. Let me know what you think.
Hey friends, I have some incredibly exciting news to share with you today. So how would you like to set sail on the crafting adventure of your lifetime? Introducing the Crafty Cruise Getaway, a one-of-a-kind experience where you can join your favorite creators from 5 YouTube channels for a relaxing and dreamy Caribbean getaway. Imagine spending 5 days surrounded by turquoise Caribbean waters, white sandy beaches, and fellow craft enthusiasts like yourself. It's the ultimate crafting getaway you will remember forever. You'll have the chance to meet and greet each YouTube creator in person. Picture yourself chatting, sharing ideas, taking selfies, laughing, and making memories, all while being inspired by their creativity firsthand. Various live crafting sessions will be held where each creator will guide you through unique and exciting projects. You'll be able to learn new techniques, discover fresh ideas, and take your crafting skills to the next level. Oh, and did I mention the fantastic onboard amenities? Enjoy world-class dining, luxurious accommodations, and many exciting activities to entertain you throughout the cruise. Take advantage of this incredible opportunity to connect, create, and cruise with some of the most talented crafters on YouTube. Due to limited space, head on over to our website, craftycruisegetaway.com, for more information on reserving your spot. Be sure to subscribe to all the participating channels for updates and exclusive content leading up to the event. I can't wait to see you on board the Crafty Cruise Getaway.
Okay, y'all check that out. Now, my next project was inspired by a piece that I saw at Hobby Lobby. So, I have all those spindles. In case you don't know, you can go look at those videos. And so these are the long pieces on the end of those banister spindles. And so I just cut them the length that I wanted and cut those ends down. Now I'm going to take my DIY paints and I'm going to use aviary to do a couple of them. I'm not going to do all the insides because I want the glue to adhere really well. And sometimes paint doesn't adhere to it very good, so I'm just going to leave a little bit of the raw wood, and it's not necessary to waste our paint on that anyway. You are not even going to see it. I'm going to use beadboard on this one. There's the website where I get my DIY paints. I get them from Sammy Beltry at www.unicorndustdesigns.com, and she has DIY paints and recycled decoupage papers and all kinds of thrifted items and just lots of goodies. Just go over there and check it out. I'm going to use cake batter on a couple of them, and on these last two I'm going to use faded burlap. These are just the colors that I chose that I thought would look good together. They're closer to neutral. The green is not really what I would call neutral, but it is kind of a neutral because it's not a bam in your face kind of green. Now when they're dry, I'm going to sand them down just a little bit, and that didn't really give me the look that I was really going for. So I decided to take a little bit of clear wax and I waxed them. And then I took a little bit of dark wax on a chippy brush. So you're going to see that. But I didn't want the dark wax to really make the paint darker, because sometimes the dark wax will make the paint darker. And I really liked the way that the colors looked. So I'm using the DIY dark wax, and I'm just going to kind of go around the edges a little bit and then wipe it down. And the clear wax is going to keep it from getting so dark. And if you get a little bit too much, you can always take the clear wax and wipe over it, and it'll erase it a little bit. Now I had this little block in my stash already stained. I had cut it off the end of a piece of wood already stained, so I just put some dark wax on it and using it. We're just using up stuff out of our stash on this one. So I'm using my Titebond Quick and Thick again because it's an amazing glue. We're just going to glue these together. You see I'm gluing where I didn't paint. I'm going to line them all up across the bottom I'm going to use this handy dandy clamp that I got off Amazon. Make sure they're all lined up, then clamp it down nice and tight. And I mean, it dried really fast, and then I'm seeing that looks really cute up there. I did attempt to glue it, put a little Titebond, put a little hot glue, and then I remembered once I stuck it down there, forgot to put the burlap around there. So I had to take it off before the wood glue got dry and wipe that down. So now I'm going to get my burlap out, and I've measured, and you know, you can just kind of run that pencil down that little ridge. And then I got my scissors in the ridge and just cut a strip long enough to go all the way around our pumpkin. And so I'm going to use a combination of hot glue and the Titebond. The hot glue really worked good, but I'm just always afraid it's not going to hold up in the long run. So I ended up taking the clamp off and going ahead and going down the side with the hot glue, and it held up really good. It was fine. This was already getting dry and enough to stand up on its own stay together on its own without the clamp on there. So I just did the hot glue there, and you can see that I'm able to kind of manipulate that around without them falling apart. So the quick and thick dries really fast. So I'm going to go ahead and put this all the way around. And then I can add the peduncle up on top. It's kind of a fake peduncle, but that's what we're calling it anyway. And now I'm going to get out the messy Spanish moss. I get this at Dollar Tree, and I really like the look of it, especially during Christmas and fall. And spring for our bird nests. Now I'm going to clean up with my little desktop vacuum cleaner. I have that linked in my description box below if you're interested in getting one. I love it. It helps clean up really nice and quick. And so I'm just going to wrap this around, lay it across the top. I'm going to put some hot glue to keep it in place when I get it where I like it and how I like it. Just like that. Just like so. My grandpa used to say that. And Favy over at Arrow's DIY, she says that a lot, and it just makes me think of my grandpa. It makes me smile every time she says it. Well, we're going to do it like so. And we're going to glue those little pine cones in like so. I just love Favy. If you don't watch her, I say Favy. I think she says her name Favy. If you don't watch her, go and check out Arrow's DIY. She is really amazing. Now I'm going to choose this burlap flower over the other one because I felt like it matched the cake batter paint a little bit better. I got those other burlap flowers at Dollar Tree. I hope that they have some more when I go back. And these little pine cone looking things came on a stem, and I believe I got those at Hobby Lobby. Let me know how you like this two-sided tabletop decor piece. My next project was also inspired by something I saw at Hobby Lobby. Mine looks totally different, but inspired by that piece. These are 4 little pieces of chair legs that came from some of those chairs when I was collecting spindles. So I cut them all the same length, and I just sanded them a little bit just to kind of clean them up. Now this is that paint that I mixed with Summer Crush and cake batter. This is also by DIY Paint. And I'm just going to give it a messy coat, a thin messy coat. I'm not even looking for some full coverage. And I'm going to do a little bit on the tops and the bottoms. And then I am going to, I painted that little piece of a spindle off of a chair with Monet's Garden, and I'm going to take some dark wax and put on there and wipe it off. And I really thought that's what I was going for, but once I placed it in the middle of my little pumpkin, it wasn't what I was looking for. So while I had the dark wax out, I went ahead and put a little dark wax on the ends and the top of this, and just a little bit in the middle. I just really didn't want to change the color of the paint too much, but I did want a little bit of dimension. So the tops and the bottoms really got a little bit more. Then I took a little bit of white wax and did it mostly in the middle, just to give it some dimension. And now I'm going to glue them together. I'm going to use a little bit of the Titebond and a little bit of hot glue to hold these all together. This is such an easy DIY. And of course, now I'm going to wrap some twine around this little spindle. And I just love that it is a different shape, and you can still see the shape of that spindle even though I did the twine. And I didn't do like full coverage with the twine. I still wanted you to be able to see that green through there a little bit. Then I put a massive amount of hot glue on the bottom of that. And now I'm going to take some more of that brown raffia that comes in a 3-pack with 3 different colors from Hobby Lobby, tie it around there. I'm going to do my little spiral curl trick where you wet your raffia, wrap it around a dowel, and then use some kind of heat source to dry it, blow dryer, heat gun, and it makes you some little spirals. And then these little picks that I had, little just pieces I had in my stash, have a little box full of little bits and bobbles of things like this, and this is how it turned out. Okay, now for our napkin rings. We're going to start with, this was part of a, I don't know, paper towel roll holder or vinyl or something came on this. Anyway, I'm going to take this. I didn't want the lacy side to show, so I'm just going to do it backwards. If you just have some regular burlap ribbon, that would work too. I'm just going to wrap it around here and glue it down. This is so easy, so easy. And you know, everybody doesn't really use cloth napkins anymore or set the table off fancy. And so I'm going to show you how good it looks with cloth napkins. I mean, with paper napkins. And so this was easy. That's just that little burlap flower from Dollar Tree. Stick it down on there. And I think this one is adorable. All right, on this one, let's start out with a shower curtain ring. A plastic shower curtain ring come in a pack of 12 from Dollar Tree. We're just going to tie some twine in a knot, maybe put a little drop of hot glue in there. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And we're just going to wrap that twine around and around and around. Now, I just cut a length off so that it made it easier. And I'm just wrapping it around. I did wrap it around that tail that was sticking out a little bit just to keep it secure. Took me just a little bit to get my rhythm going on how to wrap it. I'm not sure what I was doing right there. Just getting everything in order, I think. And so I'm just going to wrap it around the entire napkin ring. It is a napkin ring. The entire shower curtain ring. Why do I have trouble with what this thing is? Having trouble saying what it is tonight. Okay, so, and you know it's tonight because I'm a late night creator, so always doing everything late night. Once that's finished, I just took a little scrap of burlap I had in my stash, and it's a tiny little piece, and I just tied a little piece of twine, skinny twine in the middle of it. And I'm going to just glue that on there. I am going to glue the edges of it down a little bit so it looks like a flowing ribbon down the side. Just a tiny little dab of hot glue will do. And then that little acorn that I got in a pack of acorns and pine cones from Hobby Lobby, I'm just going to put a pine cone on each side, and this one is done. You have to let me know what you think about this one. It's a little bit different, but I think it's very pretty for a rustic table setting. There you go. While we've got that pack of shower curtain rings out, let's just make another one. We're going to use some more of that brown raffia. It was just laying there handy, and I thought, oh, this might be cute. Now, those long tails left out are going to be for a reason. It was kind of a happy accident, but it works out cute. So I'm just going to wrap this around and around and around, and when I get to the end, I just glue the ends on the inside and clip it. And then just add some more and start over again until I get all the way around. Actually, on this one, I don't think that's what I did. I think you're going to see what I did. I left it in so you could see what I did. So I don't know why I was struggling with these little stringy pieces of stuff, but I was struggling. Okay, so we've got this all glued down. Now we're going to trim off the pieces. Come on. Maybe I just left some clips in that I didn't mean to leave in. There's the scissors. Okay, we're going to trim that off. Now we're going to get some more pieces of it, and then do the exact same thing we did, but go the other direction. We're going to tie in the middle right there and leave some long tails, and then go the other direction until we meet where we left off. That's what I did. So I put a little bit of hot glue in the knot, because I didn't tie a double knot. I just did a single knot. Okay, so I want both of those to be sticking out there. You see? Okay, then I'm going to wrap, 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 wrap until I meet up where I left off on the other side and glue that down just like I did the first one. There we go. And then we'll just cut them off. Oh, had to blow it to cool it down. Give me the raise your hand emoji in the comments below if you've ever blown your hot glue a little bit to dry it quicker. Raise your hand if you've done that. Okay, so there's our little tails that we left out. I cut them the same length, and now I'm going to get out my little bag of wood rounds that I made from limbs out of my yard. I just used my little miter saw and just sliced them as thin as I could get them. And I'm going to take some Summer Crush and just paint a simple, very simple little pumpkin on here. Put a little stem on it. Do some very, very minor shading. Pumpkins are easy to paint. There's just a little stem with this weathered wood. I'm going to kind of not have a lot of paint on my brush and just kind of give it some dimension. Now we're going to seal our DIY paint with a big top because it's important to seal those paints. And here is the finished product. Last but certainly not least, and probably my favorite napkin ring, is another piece of that little cardboard, or this could have been a center of a ribbon roll, or you could use a paper towel or toilet paper roll, emptied roll. And I'm just taking some of that drop cloth, canvas drop cloth that I love so much, and I just cut a little strip that was a little bit wider than this little cardboard ring, and I'm going to put some hot glue on the inside. You can just see what I did. Put a little bit on the outside to get it started, and then I'm going to put a little on the inside and just put it down in there so that the edges are covered. You can see what I'm doing. It's very easy to do. Just take your time, be patient with it, don't burn yourself. Get you a little silicone spatula from Dollar Tree. I've had this one for a couple years. I got this one at Easter, and I just use it all year long. And I'm going to do this all the way around, all the way around. The drop cloth does give a little bit, so if it's, you can stretch it a little bit. So that's good. Okay, we're going to get all the way around, and we're going to just close up that end right there. Those little strings do drive me crazy, but I do love the look of this. Okay, then I am going to give it some dimension. I thought that looked too plain, so I took a strip of that and I cut some thin little strips. It took more than one strip, but I cut several thin little strips of this drop cloth, and I'm going to just wrap it around, just like we did the twine and the raffia. We're just going to wrap it around, just not overlapping each other, and sometimes I left even a tiny little gap in between, but it just gives it some texture and dimension and all the things we love about layering. Okay, then I took this little styrofoam pumpkin from Dollar Tree. It was actually on a floral pick, and I'm taking this hot knife. Oh, this is one of my favorite things to do, but that thing scares me to death. So I needed to make it a little bit rounded. I did not burn myself. It was just a piece of something that fell, and it scared me because I thought it was going to be hot, and it was not. You just got to see me jump and jerk. So I got the back of it hollowed out so it would go around that round curved surface. And I've got my little bag of twigs from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut it to size with my miter shears. And I'm just going to glue it down in there. I'm going to glue everything to this little ring. Let's glue our little pumpkin on. So cute. Glue the little peduncle in. And then I have some just little floral bits. And I'm going to just cut a tiny little piece out for a leaf and glue it on there, and this one is done. You're gonna have to let me know which napkin ring is your favorite, and would you make napkin rings for your table? Well, that's it for this video, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Do you decorate your table for Thanksgiving? Do you use napkins? Do you use napkin rings? And don't forget to subscribe. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything, and it's going to help me out a lot. But most of all, remember to be still and know that He is God.